Movie. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. But I prefer dead.
Big warm fuzzy secret hearts, cold monkey like you.
So Robocop, yet another movie remade for absolutely no purpose that in no way improves upon the original and completely misses the point about what the original stood for in the process. Yeah, I don't really know about you people, but I'm starting to notice a fucking pattern with this shit. So basically, you got Detective Alex Murphy, who's this honest cop in the normal cliche area that doesn't like honest cops. Yeah, instead of a city, you know, on the brink of war between cops and criminals where anyone can be corrupted, we get that normal everyday city we see in most films that looks as peaceful as it can be with, you know, a few robberies and murders here and there. How original. So anyway, you know what? No. Fuck this bullshit. I'm gonna fucking dwell on this. This shit pisses me off. I remember when movies like this had atmosphere, creativity, and an otherworldliness to them. None of this generic realism crap. Realism isn't a bad thing, but when you are reintroducing a character like Robocop, Batman, or even the fucking Ninja Turtles, you need to step up your game and get creative with the worlds they inhabit. Paul Verhoeven did this with the original Robocop, giving us a war-torn city between cops and criminals that looked gritty and exciting. Tim Burton did this in his two Batman movies, giving us a version of Gotham that actually looked like fucking Gotham. You know, before Schumacher ruined everything. And even Michael Pressman did this in the original Ninja Turtles, giving us what was New York City, but showing us a version of it where the kids of the city were being trained to be the criminal element, which coincidentally worked as a clever social satire for the time. These are fucking memorable environments. I don't want to see Batman in what is obviously Chicago. I don't want to see the Turtles in a generic commando-ridden Times Square. I don't want to see Doug Quaid driving through that dumbass Skyway from Minority Report, which is a terrible fucking movie, by the way, but that's a discussion for another time, and I sure as hell don't want to see Robocop in what is obviously fucking suburbia! This is not atmosphere. This is not an environment anyone wants to see Robocop inhabit. This is laziness. This is lame. This is a fucking joke. Have some damn passion! My God! Whew. Sorry, that was a long time coming. Let's just move on. So, being the honest cop that he is, Alex Murphy isn't violently murdered in the line of duty, just like the original film. No, instead he's just blown up by some random-ass car bomb. But lucky for him, the real Batman and the real Commissioner Gordon are developing a procedure that can potentially save his life. Yeah, sort of. Then, of course, Alex Murphy becomes Robocop, and about 45 minutes after becoming Robocop, actually starts to do shit that's relevant to the plot. Yeah. Now, what does work in this movie? Because I'll be honest with you, there is not a lot. First off, the actors. Joel Kinnaman, perfect fucking choice for Robocop. In fact, he was the only thing that made me go see the movie in the theaters. Fuck you haters, the killing kicks ass. Keaton does a rather good job playing the villain in some scenes, but in other scenes he just comes off as incredibly generic because the script really doesn't know what the fuck to do with him half the time. Regardless of that, though, I did love seeing Batman play a villain. That was pretty badass. Gary Oldman does a good job playing that doctor who invents the Robocop suit that brings Murphy back from the dead. And in the scenes with him and Kinnaman and him and Keaton, you know, he does manage to have good chemistry with both of them, bordering the line between a villain and a good guy, but we pretty much guess early on that he's going to be a good guy, so yeah, no mystery. Then you got this guy playing this chick. Wow, bad casting! And finally, we have Abby Cornish as Alex Murphy's wife. She's alright. Yeah, she's fine. And the second good thing about this movie, it's better than the Robocop sequels. Yeah. That doesn't really say much, does it? Now let's get on to the bad shit, and there's a lot. Now, I did like the idea of Murphy's family being a bigger part of this remake, as in the original, they're only mentioned by Murphy and only shown in one flashback scene. However, the mother and the son rarely come off as characters and really just come off as cheap emotional plot devices for the plot to use as needed. It was like they said, hey, just throw Murphy's wife and son on the screen so we can act like we actually have emotional depth, when in reality, we have no idea what the fuck we're gonna do with them. They weren't really a bad addition, they were just a really cheap one. And in the end, not much is done with them, at least nothing worth keeping them around for. The action scenes in this film are incredibly hit and miss. And it's only made less effective by the fact that this remake is PG-13. The original film was a hard R for a fucking reason! Because that film had action scenes that were gritty, disturbing, nail-biting, and fucking intense. This film's action scenes bring nothing new or memorable to the table. It's every fucking generic bullshit action scene you've seen a million times before. There is nothing that makes any of it stand out. For example, there is a fight scene in this movie that takes place entirely in the dark so you can't see a goddamn thing going on. It reminded me of that scene in Alone in the Dark where the monsters just come in and start attacking Christian Slater and that chick who thinks she can act but really can't. You know, it reminded me of that and it was just really bad. Okay, but the thing is, an action scene in the dark might have worked in this film, but what makes it not work is that Murphy's suit is entirely black! Very rarely do we see him in the traditional Robocop outfit. Instead, he's just in this fucking thing, which makes him look like Iron Man if attacked by Venom. It's really fucking stupid. Robocop looked fine the way he was. Now, I have heard arguments that this film was trying to put a more, quote-unquote, unique spin on Robocop's uniform. No. This is a unique spin on a uniform. This is a unique spin on a uniform. Even this is a unique spin on a uniform. This is fucking lazy. All they did was paint it black. I see your robosuit and I want to paint it black. Fuck you! So, do I hate this movie? I don't hate it, I just really don't like it that much. It has a decent pace, good performances, and some entertaining, albeit completely unimaginative action scenes. It's perfectly serviceable, just serviceable, despite its glaring missteps. And for that, I'm giving the film a C-. But keep this in mind, Robocop is yet another movie, like Total Recall, to be remade into mere serviceable entertainment. These two films are fucking classic sci-fi action films, and for good reason. They will always be remembered as classics. But this new generation has these. They have to settle for serviceable. Think about that.